Hey, Steven.
Hey, Sam.
I just sent you another email. Do you know how many people registered?
Last time I checked, it was eight, but hold on.
Okay. There's a couple. Peter forgot to register, and so did Michael Harding, so I sent them a link.
Okay, cool. 10 people is what I have confirmed as registered.
Okay.
Well, it's really nine because Sandy registered twice.
Okay. Yeah, and then she emailed me and asked me if she needed the to do the download. I said it's better, but
Do
you
the
don't have to.
download. Just do the download.
She did.
Okay, good.
Hello, Kathy.
Hi,
Hi, Kathy.
Okay.
this is my first time on a meeting like this with the Fort Orange district.
All right.
There you go, Peter. Glad you made it.
How are you? Thank you for sending me that. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Sam, I spoke to Mike Langer. He's not going to be able to make it tonight um, as a presenter.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know if you wanted me to throw something out about training or
Well, I'm not sure what we had scheduled for tonight.
um, well, I it's really our wrap up session for the season. I think so. Maybe we can open the forum and just answer some questions. I don't know what we go over at this point. We're still kind of in the holding pattern as far as program and
Right.
what we can offer. So we're
Well, we're waiting for other people. I just since I got a couple of you on here, even Mike Harding with the, maybe talk about the OA, or I don't know if he's been reached out. I got an email from Fox Troop 1701. They want to do, if COVID allows and everything, they want to do the what we used to do, the Latham Camporee. The Latham troops used to get together, do a camporee at the town park. It was all it was donated. The park was donated from by Colony for the Latham troops and blah blah. Well, this year they want to do it down at Lawson's Lake, um, around the August time frame. I haven't responded to him with a I'm okay with it or not, because he seems like he's got his ducks in a row. Already contacted Lawson's Lake. They're good. They got the waivers. They got everything they need. My only problem is now he's putting it out of the Latham area, and I think at the same time frame we're going to be looking at possibly doing a district camporee if possible. So I don't know if I want to tell him no and maybe have him help organize the district one if it's going to be at Lawson's Lake.
I would go that route.
Yeah.
Mike
Like I say,
Harding.
the only thing I'm holding off on is because they have done the Latham camporee for many years, but it's always been in Latham, so that's kind of where I'm at a quagmire here.
Yeah,
Sam,
I know.
it's Mike.
Hold on, Pete. Mike, go ahead.
Sorry, can you hear me okay? I'm driving.
I can, yes.
Okay. I don't know if you looked at his agenda, but that Latham Camporee, he's looking to have it be a week-long kind of set up similar to a Rotary summer camp. They're looking at getting merit badge counselors for, different morning classes and afternoon classes. So it's more than just a weekend long thing. He's looking for it to be, a week long kind of supplement to summer camp.
All right, yeah, I haven't got an agenda. I just kind of got he reached out to see if I was okay with a camporee down there for the, doing a Latham camporee. So I'll reach out to him and possibly have a meeting with him and whoever with the adults are that are advising them and see how they want to run this and see what their plans
If
are.
that's the case, Sam, we need to encourage him to reach out to Brian Murray and get Brian
Right.
involved. That there's going to be merit badge counselors in a week-long type activity.
Right, when it comes to program out, yeah, reach out to Brian and have him involved. And so let me find out. Just like I said, I'm just putting it out there because it has been brought up to me. So that way everybody's kind of in the same loop. It's a possibility, but I'll reach out to Fox and get some more details.
Now, a question for you, Stephen. I know we had traded off in the past. We had traded off 1 year were district camporees, and 1 year was a council camporee. Are we not? Are we not doing that anymore?
And I have, let me look at my email here. There's an email. Brian and I have been talking about locations for that. And I just got to double check the year that we're looking at doing. Give me just a second. Yeah, so that would be in the fall of 2021.
Okay.
So this fall is not a council
Fall would be a district.
camporee, but 2021 would be a council camporee.
Okay.
And he and I and a couple other people are working on a location for that right now.
Good. Okay. Well, that's probably good given our current situation anyway, because making plans without knowing what the final shakedown is going to be very difficult. I know it kind of shocks me that Lawson's Lake is okaying this already, because I
I
don't.
think all these locations are just like want people there,
Yeah, no, I understand. I just we're kind of every other inquiry has kind of been a like wait and see type thing. So I don't know if if that is the same, the standing order there, and they're just being as as proactive as possible, or if they really did.
Lawson's Lake pretty much gave Fox the date's yours if we can do it.
Okay. Well,
So that's basically
There's
what.
a lot of, we got to be phase 4 and a lot of other things that are pending with that he knows. So he's
Right.
got both fingers crossed, or all of his fingers crossed for it. So
All right, I'll reach out to him and I'll get some more info. We've had some others pop on, and Peter, I'm going to let you run with this.
okay. Thank you for thank you all for coming on board with us this month. Our final roundtable meeting for this season. I know we had initially sent out some email regarding having Mike Langer do a presentation for the upcoming training. Mike is actually due to heavy workload, Mike is unavailable to do a presentation for us. So I'd like to talk a little bit about training, just because I know, we're kind of passing through the situation that we have right now. Um, we were lucky enough to have some opportunities for online training possibilities, that are beginning to turn, depending on what phase we're in. Um, we might be looking at some preliminary training possibilities for later this summer, as far as leadership training. And I know Mike has been kind of circling the wagons, trying to make sure that he has a tentative plan set for those. I don't know. Um, I haven't talked to Mike directly about that, so I don't want to speak uh, about the actual program dates that he has. But I do know from having conversations with him recently that he's developing a plan for the possibility of being able to do limited amounts of training, in-person training later in the summer. So as soon as those are available, those dates are available, and as soon as we have the go ahead, the okay to do that, I'm sure we'll be posting those and advertising those trainings. Um, Given the situation that we've been in, there has been a couple of issues that we've had in Fort Orange with some units that clearly bring up the subject of um, training versus um, collecting bits and pieces of knowledge. Uh, I know I've personally been involved in a couple of situations in different units where the lack of training has created some friction inside the unit as far as specific job titles and um, just methods that we use in scouting to make sure that we're running things properly at the committee level. And I know some of those things could be, some of those problems could be alleviated with a little bit more training. So I don't want to get into specifics and calling out units that are having some issues, but I do want to point out that a lot of these concerns have a basis in people not understanding what their position is in the unit, or people trying to do more than their job description, their volunteer job description entails. And um, I think that's a I think that's a big concern with training that we have is not so much the training for the way the meetings are run and our interaction with the scouts, but also uh, how we interact with each other and what our positions are and how we complement each other when we're trained and utilizing our position training, as opposed to people coming on board with a lot of ideas and just firing cannons across the deck. It's it can create a lot of friction, and we have a lot of conflicting data that we're dealing with right now as far as what we can do in program and how we should operate given the circumstances that we're in. And again, I think a lot of that can be alleviated with a very defined trail of information um, disseminated down through from council to the districts to the unit commissioners into the committees and then down through the ranks of the unit leadership. So, you know, there's a lot of information on the internet that people are collecting from different areas and different units throughout the country. The people are doing this and units are doing that, and things are not the same everywhere across our nation. We have some states that have moved forward very rapidly with reopening, and they're progressing through various stages quickly. We happen to be in a state that's being a little bit more conservative, and we have to kind of take our lead from our local government, our district and council, and also our charter organizations. I know coming from a chartered organization that's being very conservative about their approach to socialization. I know we've got to maintain the parameters that our chartered organizations set up for us. So ultimately, those are the chains of command that we need to listen to. We really can't be searching the internet for ideas about things that don't apply to us. So I'll be putting out the word to our unit commissioners, to try to reach out to our units and just let them know that if they have questions about program, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what can they do, that they really should communicate with us and keep the lines open so that we can help guide this. So that's one of the concerns I had with the lack of position specific training that we've had. I know that in the recent past that we are slightly down as far as our position specific training for adult leadership as in relation to what's being expected of us. So I know we have some opportunities there, and I think that we can definitely utilize our ability to get online and maybe get some of those trainings. I prefer face-to-face trainings. I think they're a little bit more comprehensive, but at this point, if we can get people to get online and just get some modules under their belts, I think we can begin to kind of get these training issues kind of under control. So,
Okay, Peter.
yes.
I just want to point out to everyone that there's a committee chair, Cub Master, and Scoutmaster, Assistant Scoutmaster training on Saturday, June 13th, being hosted by the Mohawk District.
Yes.
I noticed that the registration is not up yet, but I'm expecting it to be up by Wednesday-ish, Wednesday or Thursday of this week at the very latest. And anyone that wants to take one of those trainings, I think that would be a great opportunity.
Absolutely. I encourage that, and I spoke to some of the other district commissioners, and they're all in agreement with and on board with us that any one of their trainings are open to any of the districts, providing they have the room if they haven't reached capacity in their own district. But I think any of those opportunities, especially the districts that are closest to us, are a really good bet, because those can be utilized very easily, and that's a good thing. I don't know if we can advertise that, Steve, at
Yeah,
some point,
or there's a council e-news will be going out this week, and there'll be an article in there about the Mohawk training. So
okay, great.
and then we'll probably once they put it on their Facebook page, we'll probably share it on ours as well.
Okay. I'll be in touch this week with Mike, and we'll definitely get a handle on our training programs that are upcoming, and make sure that we get all those posted and advertised as they're made available. So at this stage, I think I'd like to open up kind of like a form, being the last roundtable, to anyone that.
Before you do that, I have a question out for everybody. I have this as a recurring meeting. We can do this through the summer, since things should be a little slow everywhere else. We can still do this roundtable if you guys want to keep it open. I just need to know, and I'll start it we'll keep the same schedule.
As far as I'm concerned, Sam, that's a great idea. I would definitely be on board and be available for that. So, I know we might have a little bit lighter attendance because of the summer, but I think it's a great idea to keep the door open and keep the conversation going. If anyone else is interested.
So head nod from Kathy, so she's on board. So yeah, I'm good with we'll run this right through the summer, since we're not doing camps and everything. So in lieu of not being able to get your scouting at camp, you can still get your scouting here, and it just means we need to get with Mike and put together a rock solid program for the summer.
Yeah, well, we have our district meeting coming up, and yeah, so I'll talk with Mike, and we'll put together a summer program, so we have some information that we can share. Does anyone have a question? Any questions at all regarding any training or any issues that they're having?
Well, I do. I'm Kathy Brown. I'm the secretary of PAC 73 in Voorheesville, and I'm also a den leader for Tigers. And I guess I'm looking for a recommendation. We've been trying to stay in touch with our scouts and try to get them through their requirements. Is there a specific platform you recommend that we could do this kind of, not in person, but visual type of meeting?
We have a couple of Zoom accounts that are available, that we can access depending on times and dates. Maybe I can get with you later, and I'll shoot my email out in the message so that you all have that, and you can contact me, and I'll track down information for you, and we can maybe get some dates. We use a Zoom platform. I know we're using WebEx right now. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate Sam is providing this for us tonight, but the Zoom platform works well. It's easy to use. The kids can get on it. You can break down into some smaller groups if you needed to do different, den requirements and things. And yeah, we can definitely make that available for you. So
And Kathy, I believe everybody can register for Zoom. I believe the free version for everybody times out after like 45 minutes. So that's what some are running
Oh,
into.
okay.
yeah,
There's GoToMeeting accounts. There are a plethora of them out there, and everybody's been using everything under the sun from what I've seen. Like I said, I use this because my work gets it, and I can have as many in for as long as I want. So that's why we use the WebEx for this meeting. But like Peter said, I think most troops have actually been using a form of one, the free Zoom or a paid Zoom. They've gone and done that for most troops.
yeah.
Yeah, my older son is in Boy Scouts and they've been using that, but I just didn't know if there was something different for Cub Scouts. Because like I would be on and my co-den leader would be on, and I'm not sure if how many other parents would be participating. I just want to make sure that we have the too deep um, adult supervision.
That's good. Yeah, that's the one thing that you want to maintain, especially if you're breaking into groups, that you have, enough adult leadership to cover the different groups. We use a Zoom platform for our troop meetings, and I usually we're usually able to snag a couple of leaders when they're breaking into different groups, so that we have the leadership. Um, we we did the free Zoom account sign up. So what we do is we do two meetings, one back to back, just so that if we run over, we don't get cut off. We made that mistake the first time, and I had to send out about 25 emails to kids and parents, just letting them know that we hit the time limit. But yeah, go-to meetings are
Question
great.
on your Zoom. Have you been recording with those also?
I have not on that, but I have been on other Zoom meetings, that the paid Zoom platform that's been recorded.
Okay. Just because it may, with the too deep, I know, and if a parent, drops off and you're wondering and you're worried about the only one, adult still on, if you have them recorded, it may be sort of a backup also for you, just in case, well, what was said, and it was a he said, she said, and the adult said. I always recommend that any of these, if you can, record them.
That's a great idea, Sam. I think that should be your standard, if you can.
I'd say, yeah, the only where place we can't record is if there's any kids that are going to be on the video on the screen. As long as there's no kids on the screen.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I can just switch my view to change that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have another question.
Okay, fire away.
Um, our group, our pack is one of those packs that is suffering from a lack of training, and I think the online training is excellent. Um, do you anticipate they will be for the specific jobs, like the Cub Master, the Secretary, the Treasurer, or are they more general?
Yeah, I've taken just about all the online training available, and I've done a lot of the in-person training too, just because you know, I I like to make comparisons between the two, and I also I sort of crave the questions and answers part of the program that you get with the live training. Um, the online modules are very specific to positions. There's also some, as you get farther into it, that will discuss parameters of different positions, so that you have a better understanding of what other positions are, what to expect from other positions. A lot of the the committee modules will get into that. But the for the for the den leader specific trainings and the the Cub Master trainings, and they're very specific to their positions and explain things pretty well. I've I've actually I was the den leader through my son's term in Cubs, and I became the Cub Master and held several committee positions as well. And I found throughout that time period that they had adjusted a lot of those trainings to get very to get more specific, but also to become more comprehensive. So the trainings I took, online trainings I took initially were, a lot had a lot more rougher edges than they do now. They're very now it's a very streamlined program and very specific to the position. So I would encourage them to do those, and also, the modules are short enough that if you don't have a big block of time, you can chip away and just do a couple modules or a module at a time, and really, that I think that's a great aspect for the online training for people who are just stretched with time, because it's that they don't have to take a whole Saturday or a whole weekend or a night of their week. They can just kind of knock out a module here and there when they get a chance, and it helps. It definitely helps. Uh, Kathy, do you know your unit commissioner?
No, I don't.
I don't have my list right in front of me, but I can I can contact my unit commissioners and get you in touch with one of them, just so you have um, somebody from district that you can if you need to get a hold of us for some reason, or if you need some some backup,
Thank you.
you can have somebody there. Sure. Um, Anyone else have any questions on training at all?
Rob, I know, like Mike, at the last roundtable showed the stats of the district in terms of the percentages of those trained. Outside of the council's website and their Facebook page, for some units, they may not be seeing that, or they just haven't been sold upon why they need to be trained. Is there an active outreach to those units? I don't know how deep our unit commissioner coverage is, but are we reaching out to all those units?
We
This?
I've been in touch with Mike. What we're trying to do is we're trying to break them down into um, groups, area groups that we can kind of work on, and just maybe reach out, get unit commissioners to reach out and try to help out with getting more people trained. I think part of the issue that we have nowadays, I think, is just if you have if you have a lot of if you have a few kids, if both parents are working, or if you're a single parent that's working, it's just hard to carve out that time. And I think I think we really have to kind of get people acclimated with the online training, and how easy it is to to get those modules done. They really are a gift for the busy for busy volunteers, and I think it's very underrated right now, because I think we have a lot of um, with new leadership that comes in, especially at the Cub level, there's that we have to really have a constant kind of a contact to try to maintain training because several of these units that were well trained a couple of years ago are you know suffering from lack of training now, and other units that were have classically were untrained have several or more than half uh, of the adults are trained now. So it varies a lot, especially in the Cub program because of the turnover, and and I think that's something that as a district, our commissioner staff is really going to have to focus on that. I think that forward. I know I made a pledge with Mike Langer to try to help use our commissioner staff to try to help get the training numbers up. So we are trying to address that, and we will continue to uh, try to make strides with that. Mr. Balfour, how are you? Silence. That's not a bad thing.
He's muted, and that's weird for him.
He might not be able to find the button. I'm sure he's scrambling for it. um, what I'd like to talk about now uh, for just a few more minutes, if we could, um, I'd like to talk about some program opportunities that we might have, and some service opportunities that are available to us right now. I know uh, in our area um, we have a lot of food collection going on, and clothing collection, and also um, hard goods for groceries, cleaner, toilet paper, tissues, that kind of thing. So I'd like people to kind of start to think about what they could do um, with their units, and to get the kids kind of back on their feet as far as participating in a limited way that's not going to break our social distancing rules. I know some of the local units that we have been very, very busy. I know um, Rob can tell you that 75 has really been stepping up their game and doing a great job with the food collection programs. Um, that's a great opportunity for all the units uh, to really get their hands on. We also have, it doesn't have to be a really big kind of uh, push. It can be as simple as reaching out to some of the neighbors who have been kind of cut off with the social distancing thing. Some old elderly neighbors, maybe helping them get their yards back into shape for the season, um, where scouts can take turns doing different things like that, so that they're not breaking the social distance rules that we have. Um, those kind of things we can definitely work with. I think we really have to be kind of creative with our thought process in how we approach our volunteering and what kind of methods that we're utilizing. I think a lot of this stuff can be done with just having some creative ideas, and maybe breaking them down into smaller pieces and on a smaller scale. So this crisis kind of gives us a great opportunity as a program to showcase our volunteer roots and really get back to one of the basics of scouting, which is helping other people. So that could be something that kind of keeps the ball rolling for some of these kids that haven't been able to get together with their friends or haven't been able to really do anything socially. I could give them another opportunity to just kind of a different playing field. So take those things back to your units and knock them around with your committees and see if there isn't anything that might fit in your area that could work. At this point, I'd like to open up the forum to questions of any kind that anybody has, as far as is there anything that that we can help out with in the district, at the district level? Is there any questions or concerns that you have that maybe we can get some answers for you, or at least help you, point you in the right direction?
I have a question about that. I've been on the Twin Rivers Council calendar in the past, and I've seen that different troops or packs have put together programming. Is there an expectation for each pack to put on a program, I don't know, every 3 years? And who could I talk to about setting one of those up?
As far as, I'm sorry, maybe I'm just missing your as far as like volunteer programs or
Well,
any kind
like
of.
some troops or some packs have been doing like an online presentation, or they do a winter carnival, or they do a day program. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I mean, I know we had we have a program out here in Bethlehem that Winter Carnival that some of the pack leaders started a couple of years ago, and it's perpetuated. It's actually attracts a pretty good group of kids through the winter time, and that's something that I can direct you to some names that can just give you some ideas as far as how those are organized, and what kind of just give you a little bit of the framework for some of that stuff. um, I don't know what the relationship that you have with any of the units around you. I know there aren't too many units out there. I think it's just you guys and the Boy Scout troop. Am I correct? Yeah. So maybe I know we're not very far away from you in Bethlehem. We have several um, cub packs and several boy troops out here. That you can partner up with, and I know Gilliland does a lot of that does some stuff um, as far as utilizing like Town Center Park and that kind of thing. So if if you're finding that those things are kind of bigger than what you can get help with that in just your unit, um, you know, by all means, reach out. You know, we're not that far away, and you know, I know a lot of the, especially the Cub packs are hungry to get back into having some programs, so they would probably be more than happy to join with you and get involved in some stuff.
Peter, this is Mike. There's also an option if she doesn't want to host anything themselves. The OA always puts on the Cub Yukon the first weekend of February out at Rotary, and that's open to any Cub Scouts that want to come. They don't have to come as a den or a pack. They could come individually.
Yes, that's a great opportunity, Mike. I'd like to get that um, advertised out to the packs more this year, especially getting the season that we're just coming off of. I think it's a great opportunity, and it's underutilized as far as the and the council is concerned, because we never get too many Cubs, and there's tons of opportunity there. So um, I'm going to talk to our committee members at that's some jotting down some notes now, and make sure that we when we get our dates firmed up that we're getting that information out more. We always say it's on the calendar, but some of us are used to looking at that calendar and using it on a regular basis, and others seem to, it's sort of like an unknown entity to them. So, we try to get everything posted as quickly as we can, but I know, especially for the Cub units, the packs, that especially because of the change in leadership, they lose that contact probability. So we really should target them a little bit better and get that word directly to them. So we'll make a point of trying to do that this year. But
Hey, Peter, can you hear me?
yes,
Peter?
yes.
I'm playing on I've got you on my tablet and I've got my desktop up. PAC 73 has no commissioner assigned. And I hate to say it, but it's been over 2 years since there's been a contact out there.
Well, Kathy, I will be in touch with you, and if I don't have a commissioner for you, I will meet with you personally, and we'll get you some support. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Pete, it's Rob. It's Kathy. I'm the Cup Master at PAC 232 in Bethlehem, and if you guys want to come to the Bethlehem Carnival, for all 4 packs in Bethlehem, organize it. Be glad to have you come this year. We try to do in the February or so time frame, as there's no cost to that at all. So we organize that. If you want to sit in on the organization, we can show you how that goes.
Thank you.
And then in terms of online stuff, there's lots of councils out there. I mean, first off, Council Scout On-Site has a lot of pre-made presentations. If you want to grab those, there's a couple for every single rank that's out there. So if you go there, you scroll to the bottom, you'll see lions, tigers, all the way up. And then a lot of councils around the country also have a lot of pre-made presentations you can pull from. And then there's also the Mohawk District did some Cub Scout online activities, and they're all recorded on YouTube. They're on the TRC Mohawk District's YouTube page, and there's a bunch of stuff up there if the scouts want to see those.
Thank you.
Okay. Any, does anybody else have any questions as far as program or any concerns or anything else? Kathy, I don't want to cut you off. If you have any other questions, you please, keep them coming. That's why we're here.
This last one, do have one more question.
Okay.
Um, how can we get more men involved in Cub Scouts?
Oh, hey, Peter, can I answer that one?
If you can, Ralph, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I had a problem dealing with small children when my son was in Cubs. And while I supported the program, I could not take an active part. It was just one of those things that you're probably gonna run into the same problem in other units. Some of us are challenged, and I'll admit it. I was. I could be a commissioner of a PAC because I'm not involved in their day-to-day operation, but as far as being a Cub leader, I could not do it, and I'll admit it.
You know, it's funny, Kathy, because coming up through Cubs, I didn't know that dads got involved. All of my den leaders were den moms, and they were the dads came to the PAC meetings sort of as support people, but it was a it was a women's led organization, and it, it it was a fine tuned machine, and I don't know if when men really started to get involved, if that uh, threw a wrench into it or not. I'd like to think that that we can offer uh, equal parts to scouting, but if all you can get is you know moms and grandmas, and that's a good program too. You can always partner, like like I said, and like Rob said, you can always partner with other PACs for events if you need some more help as far as adult leadership. That's a great thing, and I think that we need to encourage that a little bit more too, because I know we have a lot of local PACs that they sometimes have trouble getting that extra help. For some of the um, outside program stuff that they do. But you know, as far as the dads and the men, I think it really you know it's it's easier to appeal to that group of people from the beginning. I think encourage them, when you're having your open house for your tigers and your younger scouts. Encourage moms and dads to show up, grandfathers, uncles. You'd be surprised about how many of these kids have uh, male family member that came through scouting that would love to get involved in the program. We had several when I was the Cub Master at PAC 272. We had a couple of grandfathers that got involved with us. An uncle who was an Eagle Scout helped us out. So they're there. They just I think they just have to be brought out from whatever cocoon they're in. So if you find that formula, let me know, because that's a constant challenge we have in scouting is just appealing to leadership to try to get people involved in it.
Hey, Peter, get Kathy a copy of the parent survey that lists all this, to give to the parents that lists all the skills and everything and all their hobbies.
Yeah.
And maybe by incorporating some of the hobbies that some of the dads like to do, that might be a way for you, Kathy, to bring some of them in. I think you just need to show them, hey, we need your expertise in helping do XYZ. And if it's not something that some of them like to do, then I think it'll be a good way to get them in. And then once they start having the fun doing it, I think it'll just snowball from there.
Thank you.
I was going to second that, Sam, or Steve, that that's kind of how when my son was in Cub Scouts, it wasn't until somebody asked me to do a specific event or a den meeting. I forget what it was, but they said, "Oh, you know how to do that? So can you do this at a den meeting?" And that's what got me started. And just, I would suggest just kind of, maybe one-on-one talk to some of the dads that might happen to be there, or the wives if they're there, and just say, "Hey, can you just do this one meeting? I'll help you with it. It's not a big deal," and just kind of downplay the amount of effort or anxiety that they might have with it, and just you know offer to work with them to get their feet wet. And once they do one, then you can get them to do more.
I think that's a very good point, Mike. Quite often, uh, getting people to just stand up for for one thing, for one issue, for one topic is a good start. Sometimes you get people engaged in that stuff. They start to talk about something they like to other people. The next thing you know, they're coming to meetings, or they're making suggestions for different ideas, for program ideas, and it snowballs from there. So we can also, Kathy, when I get together with your committee, when we get you a unit commissioner, we can help you flesh out a program for trying to get some more people to volunteer to help.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Um, so we're looking to continue this, Ralph. I know you joined us a little bit late. We're looking to continue this um, into the summer. So um, I'd encourage any of you that have other um, people in your units that might be interested in coming on board and asking questions, or talking to us, or just participating in the roundtables, please let them know. We've got this forum going on, and we're trying to address issues, and that we're here. We're here to help.
And we're
As
taking
always.
requests for if you want to see anything specific in any of these meetings, any certain trainings that you can't get elsewhere, you want this, reach out to us and we can do it through this forum.
Absolutely. We're always striving for opportunities to connect with people, and if there's something that we're not addressing, or that you feel that is important, um, shoot us an email or say something at one of the meetings. We'll um, be glad to cover any topic that people are interested in.
Peter, I have two items if you can fit me in real quick.
Sure.
Okay, so I have to admit I've been multitasking here. Our venture crew 1078 has been meeting at the same time as this. So I've got Zoom up on the laptop and go to meeting on the phone here and going back and forth. But our district's own Nick Mitchell is on that, and I mentioned that I was on both meetings, and he says, "Oh, if you're still on the district meeting, can you mention that there is one spot that opened up on the council's sea-base trip? So if anybody wants a last-minute trip down to sea-base, a youth, there is one slot that opened up for that, so we can contact Nick Mitchell." And then the second item is, of course, he's the Jambo guy. So there's still slots available for National Scout Jamboree in 21. So he asked me to plug that to everybody here if they have any scouts. Fantastic trip. I went 17. It was phenomenal.
Awesome. All right. We should definitely if we don't get any bites on that position for the scout at sea base, we should definitely get that out on maybe on the council Facebook site so that people know that that's available.
Mike, can you let Nick know, just to send that in an email to us and include Stephen Dunn so we can get that and get it filled?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I know talking to him over the weekend, there was a scout that was wishy-washy. So I think that's new that they dropped out, but they were on the fence. So
Yeah, that just happened this afternoon, actually. So yeah.
I kind of felt like he'd be talking to you, Steve.
Yeah, no, he and I talked about it this afternoon. He let me know that he had just found out. So okay, guys, I gotta log off. I have another meeting I gotta log on to in 1 minute. But if there's anything that you need from me, just feel free to shoot me an email. Um, I'm on the council website with my email address. So I will talk to you all later.
All right, thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen.
With that, I mean, if nobody else has anything else, we can probably wrap ours up also.
I just had a real quick thing to mention.
Yeah, what's up, George?
So I'm on the STEM committee that Vincent organizes.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to think of ways to promote those different things. So the Nova Awards and then the Supernova, talking about, since, not much is going to be happening with camp, different ways to get that going over the summer. So I don't have any particular ideas in mind at the moment, but if anybody can think anything, I know Rob gave an awesome presentation at the Mohawk Scout On for the Cub Scouts. A really great way to get kids involved and win a Nova Award remotely. Just wanted to put that out there as something we'd be really interested in promoting and doing more of.
Do you know if you guys or Vince have reached out to Brian Murray from Rotary? He's also the top program director in
He's
council.
on the committee, so
He is too.
we talked to him.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll reach out to him again and see. We've had a couple ideas kicking around at some of these different committees, but just wanted to mention it. I can maybe present some more at another one of these roundtables if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great. Reach out to Peter to so he can schedule what's going to go on the roundtable. We can definitely get you in there and even do a roundtable and kind of a round robin. Find which ways can we do this better.
Yeah, I guess the idea is at least with the Nova, the idea is that you're already doing most of this stuff. Kids are already watching shows about science. They already have done some of the adventures, and then so it's like a little bit more. But you can really, if you have a kid that's interested or a bunch of kids interested, really knock out a lot, and then it happens at every level. Also, it's available not only to Cub Scouts but BSA and Venture.
Right.
Thanks, George. Appreciate you throwing that out there. Sam, I don't have anything else. If you
Just since Kathy, this is your first trip here, if you can do us a favor, go back to your pack and let them know we're here and we're here for you and here for questions and you know this is what we want to help you guys. I know if you're struggling and you have questions, this is the place that definitely come and we'll one on one we'll answer them for you. So and
Thank
anybody.
you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. And anybody, even it doesn't even have to be a position in the troop. Any parent, feel free to have them come and I can take up to 1,000 or so people on this WebEx. So the more the merrier. Thanks. Other than that, I don't have anything for tonight, and we're gonna plug on, and Peter will talk, and we're gonna do this same bat time, same bat channel next month.
Yes, thank you all for coming. And like I said, encourage anyone in your unit that has any questions or anything at all that they want to ask or talk about. It doesn't matter what our topic is. If you've got something you want to talk about or an idea or a question, please jump on and ask away. That's what we're here for. Just like Sam said, we're here to help you uh, give the scouts a good program. So that's what we exist for. So please take advantage of it.
And not in got to go with the plug in 2 days on Wednesday. If you look at the calendar, is our commissioner and committee meetings. Um, it's also open to anybody to log in. My committee, I'd like to hear from anybody and everybody ideas on how to run things better, not just on a training aspect like the roundtable is supposed to be, but that's where we'd like to see or we want to do this. Can that's what that meeting can be for. So Kathy, let everybody know that they're more than welcome to join that meeting also.
Thank you. I will.
There's my selfish plug. So other than that, I'm good. I know everybody else has been kind of quiet, so I guess we're good for the night.
All right. Thank you everybody for coming, and we appreciate you being here. Hopefully, uh, if you can, come visit us again next month.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.